Well, hello, everybody. This is your wandering storyteller, Amritat. And today we're going to hear part 3 of a story that we call The Abandoned Caboose. The Abandoned Caboose Part 3. So if you haven't caught the other 2 episodes, you can go to my YouTube channel. This is Amritat. You can look at the last 2 episodes, but just to bring you up to date, there are 2 kids, Fred and Fran. They're playing in their playroom because there's no school. They're at home because of the confinement, what we call. And they dug to the bottom of the basket of toys. They found a little caboose and a little tiger that they never played with. And the caboose took them in through the mirror into a magic world where they ended up in a castle. They got put in the dungeon. They escaped from the dungeon. There's a mean magician there that turned all of the king's family into stone. And then magically, Fred was able to break the spell. But just when they were ready to have a great big feast, this huge dog came in and was ready to attack them. And that's where he left off. In fact, the dog had grabbed Fred by the shoulder and threw him up into the air. And he was flying into the air, and the dog had his big teeth ready open, ready to catch Fred and eat him or bite his leg off. But as he was flying through the air, his sister Fran remembered that she had in her pocket that little teeny toy tiger. She said, and she threw the tiger into the air, and the tiger magically turned into a real tiger. In fact, a tiger that was as big as that dog. And as the dog had lifted up his teeth to catch Fred, the tiger leapt into the dog and scratched his eye out. And then the tiger has sharp teeth. He bit the dog on the arm, on the paw. Oh, and the dog ran away. And the tiger, oh, we're so happy to have you, tiger, said Fran. And she hugged her brother Fred because he got saved. And all the other people, the king and the queen and all the people that were eating at the table went, woo, good job, good job. But the king came over to Fred and said, listen, you seem to have some magic there, little man. But let me tell you this. We need your help. We may have gotten rid of the dog, but the magician, he's still around here. And he's the most powerful magician that we've ever seen. And we have to get him out of the castle or he's going to destroy us all. Well, Fred said, okay, yes, your highness. I'm at your command, your highness. What do I need to do to find the magician? The queen came in just then and said, well, listen, Fred, I think all you've got to do, because you have magic, you can just look into this crystal ball right here. And inside the ball, if you ask it, you'll see exactly where is the magician. Okay, said Fred, and he took this beautiful crystal ball, and everybody else looked in the ball. They couldn't see anything. But Fred, has these magic powers. Crystal, crystal, show me where is the magician. I want to find him there. Crystal, crystal, tell me now, where is the magician? I want to stop him. How? Crystal, crystal, tell me fast. Where is the magician? And how can I send him away at last? And then the crystal ball started to turn sort of milky covered. You know, sort of like those little balls that you shake up and you see all the little snowflakes falling down. You know about that, kids? You've done that sort of thing, right? Pretend like you're shaking that little ball right now. That's your crystal ball. And can you all put your hands out and hold that crystal ball in your hand and look inside that milky crystal? What do you see? All of a sudden there was a lightning flash inside, and Fred started to see very clearly this small little hut right outside the forest next to the castle. And inside that castle, there was this black, dark magician. He had a long beard and he had white hair, and he was sitting at his table pouring together potions. He had the wing of a special bird. He had the bone of a chicken. He had some of the hair of the queen. He had some wiggly, nasty worms. He had a special poisonous ant. He had a cockroach that was the biggest cockroach you've ever seen in your life. And he was pouring them all into a big pot of water. Stir and find your way. This is the poison to make my day. This will kill every one of them children who came from the other world to bother my brethren. Stir, pot, stir. You'll find your match, Mr. Little Fred. I see you watching me at that. Well, Fred, he was terrified. No. He put the crystal away. He didn't want to see anymore. No, he's gonna hurt all of you. He's gonna hurt me. I don't know what to do. Fran, his sisters came up to him. Come on, Fred, be brave. You're magic. Come on, man. It's not a big deal. You can just wish us over there to his house, and we can wish to have what do we want to do? We've got the tiger. Why don't we wish to have a whole army come with us? All the king's army come with us. The king said, yes, we'll get our army ready for you. So they had to make special preparations that day. All the army got dressed up in their armor. They got their sharpest spears. And Fred got the tiger next to him and his sister Fran. And they were ready to go to outside the castle to meet the magician. The castle gate opened. There were trumpets of victory playing by the army. And there were drums. The drummers played while the army marched by. They started marching out of the castle, and Fred was leading the way with the tiger next to him and Fran next to him and Tina, the princess, next to them. They were going to fight this magician to the end. And they had, but as soon as they got outside of the castle, everything changed. It got very dark. It was beautiful sunlight when they left the castle, but all of a sudden there was a dark cloud that crossed over the sun. And there was this dark forest. The road ended, and they knew that the magician's house was inside of this dark forest. So they all went in there. The drums were playing. The horns were not playing anymore because they didn't want to let the magician know they were coming. In fact, Fred said, "Shh, silence, drums. Let's sneak up on his house." And they went through this very windy little road into the castle. It was so narrow, the soldiers couldn't even get through. They had to line up like a big line. So Actually, Fred was the very first person. He was unprotected, except there were two brave soldiers on each side of him. They weren't on horses. They were carrying their spears because they knew they had to protect Fred. That was the king's orders. Protect Fred. Whatever happens, protect the children. When they got into the forest, there was this bird that was flying by them. It was a parrot. The parrot was a spy. The parrot flew back to the magician. They're coming, the kids are coming. I know, said the magician. That doesn't bother me one bit because we have a surprise for them. Well, Fred and the whole line came to a beautiful clearing. There were no trees, and there was just one little ray of sun coming down into this from the forest trees. And right where that sun hit was the castle, was this house of the magician. But before they could get to the magician's house, they had to cross over a little teeny river, not a big river, just like one you could wade in. The water maybe came up just above your feet. But they stopped right at the river because they knew something was wrong. They had to cross the river, but they were worried that there was something wrong. And Fred said, well, I don't know if we should go across this river or not, he said, but I'm going to take, what am I going to do? I've got this little toy boat, and I'm going to put it into the water, and let's see what happens. He put the boat into the water, and the boat sort of stood there for a moment. And the next thing you knew, there were these 5,000 piranhas. Piranhas are little teeny fish with sharp teeth. And if you fall into the water where there are piranhas, they can eat you up to you're nothing left but bones like that. And so he put the boat into the water. Well, the piranhas can't eat a boat because, it's not a real living thing. But what they did was they kept chewing at the boat. Thousands of piranhas until the boat sank into the water. Okay, Fred, now we know what the problem is. They got piranhas here, so I've got no problem with that. He pulled out his hands like this. He went, piranha, piranha, me gonna be gonna. Piranha, piranha, me gonna be gonna. And they would be gone. They disappeared. No piranhas there. Okay, everyone, come on. And they all walked through the water across, and they surrounded the castle. All of the army surrounded the castle. You think the magician was frightened? This is what I planned for. They're all around the castle. And now I'm going to burn them, because they didn't know it, but they were standing on a fuse that would turn into flame and burn them all in an instant. The flame was just right in front of them, and they were right next to it. They sort of saw there was something in the ground, and they didn't stand right on it. But then the magician said, here I go. Fire, fire, you beguiler. It is time to burn those liars. Fire, fire, burn and scorch and sear their skin out of their hearts. And just then he went like that. This huge flames came up into the face of all the army of Fred and of the tiger even, and they jumped back, and they didn't know because the flames were reaching out toward them like it was going to burn their skin, it was going to burn their clothes, it was going to burn everything. They were all going to be destroyed in a minute. And that's where we're going to end our story for today. The next episode, the final episode of the Abandoned Caboose, will happen on Friday at the same time. It'll be live here on the YouTube channel. So I hope you'll enjoy it and invite people to come and subscribe to my channel. So first I'm going to say goodbye to all of the YouTube people. Bye-bye. Let's see, I got to say goodbye to you all, but I really enjoyed my time with you, and I hope you enjoyed seeing what it was, right? So let's see here. What do? I end. I guess it's done. Okay, hope so. Let's see if it's done or not. Okay. Save. And we're going to go into No School Story Time. Okay, I think that'll work. And so here we go, guys. I'm going to end this. Also, I'm not going to end this. I'm going to turn your mics back on so I can hear you. Okay, here we go. Allow participants. Cancel. Okay, can you guys hear me? You're not there. You left. Okay, bye.